So Rich, maybe you could talk to folks about threat-informed defense and specifically what we mean by that.
So at MITRE, we're talking about threat-informed defense as the systematic application of a deep understanding of adversary tradecraft and technology, the kind of information that's in MITRE's attack framework, and using that to improve your ability to protect against, detect, or mitigate adversary behavior and attacks.
I think what's neat about that is it actually stems from how we thought about defense all along over the last 60 years. I mean, that's really where we came from, right? And now we're applying it to cyber.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about threat-informed defense and attack is it really does arise from that practical need that we've had here at MITRE to try to understand what adversaries are doing, how they're operating, can we detect them? And so it's applying some of these really kind of basic principles, but doing it in a repeatable and systematic way that's really had great impact.
So Rich, you and I have been out there talking to organizations and companies about the center. What types of organizations do you think are the best fit for the center?
So we talk about bringing together the best security teams from around the world. And really what we mean by that is taking those organizations that are practicing threat-informed defense. They may not call it that today, but they are doing that systematic application of a deep understanding of adversary behavior. So it's those organizations, whether they're traditional IT companies in the cybersecurity space, or whether they're a major financial institution or a pharmaceutical or a global manufacturer or an insurer, it's really about their level of sophistication, their dedication to pursuing research and development. And here's the critical point. It's their willingness and their understanding of the value of engaging in collaborative research and development that's in the public interest. Because much like they've seen the benefit of the publicly available attack framework, these are organizations that understand that by having these commonly available resources that are really perform the function of a foundation layer of resources, that this gives them all a benefit that they can build on.
And I thought it was really interesting. Actually, you were the one who said it when we were talking to one of the big banks, which was that no matter how sophisticated they are, they're only as good as their least sophisticated company that they work with in their supply chain. So there's really a benefit to not just getting better themselves, but to helping the community get better at cyber defense.
Interestingly, that's why in the center we talk about two things: advancing the state of the art and advancing the state of the practice. And I think people have a pretty good intuitive understanding of what advancing the state of the art means, but state of the practice gets to that point about supply chains. That is, it's great if your bank is secure, but if the organizations that you're depending upon, maybe a law firm or an outside consultancy, if they have poor cybersecurity, that's how adversaries are going to get to you.
Exactly.
So that's why it's critically important, and this is why it's so important that the center is publicly releasing its R&D. It's to drive that public interest impact to as broad a possible community, to really make sure that when we look back at the work we've done in the Center for Threat-Informed Defense, MITRE, Engenuity, and all of the participants can really understand that we've had a critical role in changing the game so it's no longer favorable to the adversary.
So Rich, how is the Center for Threat-Informed Defense different than a threat-sharing organization?
Well, it's really quite different. And one of the things that's interesting is that those threat-sharing organizations are actually joining the Center for Threat-Informed Defense. But fundamentally, the Center is a collaborative R&D organization. We're not doing operational cyber threat intelligence sharing. We don't have indicator feeds and threat intelligence feeds. We're really operating at a different, more strategic level, where we're engaging with these best security teams from around the world to identify and then solve problems which we're making publicly available. So we have a different tempo and a different cadence, we have a different mission, but again, I think working with those organizations, those threat-sharing organizations, whether they're sector-based or otherwise, is a really important element to our effort to drive impact at scale.
Yeah, it's not just about convening. We're actually conducting research and development. It makes me think of the quote from John Henry, our former board of directors chair, where he said, "We're not just wedding planners. We're not just convening. We're actually conducting research." And in many ways, this foundation, I call it a tech foundation. We're actually doing. It's not just about grant writing. It's not just about gathering and investing. It's about actually putting our technical resources to work for public interest. Beyond just working with government.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things I often say, and we've said to prospective participants in the center, is if this is something that you're expecting to just join, check the box, go to a meeting, and be done with it, this is not the center for you. That it really is a tech foundation, and we really are looking for organizations that are able to, but more importantly, committed to collaborative research and development in the public interest.
Thanks.